Rune Factory, Guardians of Azuma, has a variety of sacred tools you can use, not just for battles, but for farming and exploration as well. These tools are obtained through story progression, and their effects can be leveled up by obtaining points through the tool's usage or by playing the game and using the all-purpose points accrued during Wolby's end-of-day reports to level them up. For today's video, I want to talk about each of these sacred tools and what they can do in the game. So, let's get started. The first tool you will be introduced to is the Sacred Plum Branch. This tool, later replaced by Iroha's gifted fan, can be used to unlock, or as the game says, bond with the save statues to make them usable not just for recording your progress, but as warp points as well. This sacred tool also allows you to increase a small amount of bond points if you perform the Dance of Bonds on any of the colorful casts you will find yourself interacting with in Azuma. Likewise, the Sacred Plum Branch and Iroha's fan are also used as the first step in taming monsters. Granted, you would need to have progressed the game enough to get to the Autumn region storyline to be actually able to befriend monsters, including bosses. To know more about this, be sure to check my other video. Next, we have the Sacred Drum handed to us by Ulalaka in Spring Village. This drum allows you to heal yourself and the party around you upon use. It can also stun enemies for a short while and imbue your weapons with the earth element. The drum is also used to bring trees affected by the blight back to full health, which will give you the seedling for that tree. The Sacred Drum is also useful for farming, as using it on seeds and growing crops will lessen the time it takes to grow them by a day, and you can use it on each crop, flower, lumber trees, and fruit trees once per day. Another use for the Sacred Drum is that it can revitalize wilted crops back to life, simply by playing it within their vicinity. If you are, however, trying to get giant crops, be sure to again check the video I have mentioned before to find out the full effects of what using the Sacred Drum does when gunning for these gigantic variants. The third sacred tool you will find is Matsuri's Sacred Sword. Not only does this sacred tool imbue your weapons with fire, allowing you to deal additional damage to enemies weak to it and destroying the plants responsible for the blighted lands, it can also be used as a weapon of its own during battles. The Sacred Sword is also used as you would a sickle in older Rune Factory games, where using them on fully grown crops gives you a chance to get seeds that are a level higher than the crop you use it on. You can use this until the seeds are rank 9, which is the highest rank you can get for them in this game. Next, we have Kurama's Sacred Fan. This is another sacred tool with not just a use in farming and battling, but in exploration as well, as there are some puzzles you can only solve, paths you can only unlock and take by using the Sacred Fan on these pinwheels. In farming, the Sacred Fan is used to quickly harvest your crops simply by blowing a gust of wind at them. In battles, the Sacred Fan can be used as a weapon to blow these gusts of wind at the enemies. These attacks have a long reach, so they are my go-to when I want mob battles to end quicker. The Sacred Fan also imbues your weapon with the wind element. When it comes to exploration, the Sacred Fan is used to heal lands that are contaminated by the poison blight. When equipped, this sacred tool also makes you run faster and allows you to ram through boxes and damage enemies by running into them. And again, they are used on some puzzles that involves pinwheels. The next sacred tool is the Sacred Parasol you obtain from Fubuki. This sacred tool allows you to glide through gaps to reach new places in Azuma, and also gives you more attack maneuvers, as I've discussed in the video I mentioned before. You can also use the Sacred Parasol to cure scorched lands of their blight and water your plants. Imbued with a water element, having this equipped will also make your main and sub-weapons deal water damage on enemies. Of course, you can also use the Parasol like the rest of the sacred tools here directly as a weapon at the expense of your rune points. The sixth sacred treasure is Kai's Sacred Oni Mask. Exploration-wise, you can use the mask to destroy rocks and boulders that has these purple patterns on them. Battle-wise, Kai's sacred tool is imbued with the darkness element and allows you to use the mask dance, which depletes rune points in exchange for dishing out sumo techniques at the enemies, which deals them dark damage while also keeping you from flinching from enemy attacks. The seventh sacred tool in your arsenal as the Earth Dancer is the sacred staff bestowed on you by Kanata late in the game. This sacred tool, in my opinion, has the most limited use in exploration for the entire game, as it only allows for you to see the unseen, like hidden pathways in the heavenly realm. That being said, Kanata's sacred tool has one of the longest attack range, especially once you've leveled it up, as the butterflies it summons can hone in on enemies and shoot lasers at them. Yes, lasers, even when you are far from them. These lasers, as with the attacks from your weapons when you have this sacred tool equipped, has the light element. Lastly, we have the Terra Tiller, which is actually the second sacred tool you end up with after Wolby gives it to you. But, well, the game puts it on the far end of the sacred treasure ring, so I'm just going along with them. Anyways, the Terra Tiller is the sacred tool that allows you to customize and decorate the village's development zones. It is also the one you use if you want to stop time at these zones when doing your farming chores. With the Terra Tiller's village building mode enabled, time stops. Here, you can also water your crops quickly and plant seeds on farming plots just as quick. While on the village builder mode, you can press R3 to go into a bird's eye view mode to make building, decorating, and farming easier. You can also press down on the D-pad to call on Wolby to either talk to him or ask him to make terrain tiles like rice paddies, farming plots, and other decorative tiles for you in exchange for materials. You can keep this enabled as you walk around the development zone to keep time frozen, and then just back out of the village building mode when you want to interact with a building or an NPC. Doing this will save you some time. Of course, even with the Terra Tiller equipped and the village builder mode on, once you step out of the development zones, time will resume as normal. Do note that all sacred tools except for the Plum Branch, Iroha's fan, and the Terra Tiller have two special attacks you can use. These special attacks need to be unlocked from their respective skill trees before you can use them. Once unlocked, you then need to have the corresponding amount of spirit bars to be able to use them. The first special attack of these sacred tools uses up one spirit bar and is activated by pressing the R2 key to bring up the special attack wheel, and usually the one spirit bar special attack is the attack that deals with passive AoE effects. For instance, Flower's Blessing, which is the first special for the Sacred Drum, drops a circular healing area on use, while the Sacred Sword Dance Divine Blade puts a circular flaming area around you that deals constant fire damage. On the other hand, the two Spirit Bar special attacks you can trigger by pressing the R2 button and the X button does a one-off devastating attack with the element specific to the sacred tool at the enemy. And there you guys have it, all 8 sacred tools found in Guardians of Azuma and how to use them. I hope this video gives more insight to these tools and their usage. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Until then, you guys know the drill. Dream on, fly on. Bye bye for now. Keep safe, everyone.